Well guys, I am officially adding yet again another property to my portfolio. You guys can see here, it may look a little familiar if you've been following me for 5 years, because technically I'm not really adding another property to my investment portfolio. I'm just turning what was my former primary residence into a rental. Now, if you've been following me for 5 years, you know that I sat down with an architect and the builder of this property because of a specific reason. Now, this part of Dallas and East Dallas, it's a very upcoming area. The last 5 years, there's been a ton of gentrification, a ton of just development in this area, and I had a general idea of location I wanted to be at. I had a budget of $400,000. That wasn't gonna buy this property right here. Neither was $500,000. I spent $640,000 on this property, but I'll explain exactly why. Now, $400,000 5 years ago in this neighborhood didn't really get you much. $500,000 would start to get you a little bit, but $640,000 actually got me exactly what I wanted. And that's exactly what I'm gonna break down to you guys right here, is this door is actually not the front door. This technically shouldn't even be a door altogether, but I met with an architect, I met with the builder and designed a room downstairs specifically to have as an Airbnb. Now, this room may not actually look like much, guys. It's a very small and quaint bedroom. You've got the bare necessities. Obviously, I've got a tenant moving in here, or a handful of tenants moving in here, so it's completely empty. But this used to be decked out just for people to basically sleep in at the end of their night, because there's a ton of stuff to do. You've got your normal closet. I had a little kitchen, I guess kitchenette area here with a microwave and a refrigerator. This was actually completely walled off, so I didn't have random people walking through my house. So there's sheetrock there. And then of course, we all need a bathroom. Now, this was an Airbnb suite that rented out almost every single weekend for the first 2 years I owned this property. It averaged about $2,000 a month. So you can see the benefit of just having this room alone, being able to pay a portion of my mortgage. Now, this is the rest of the house. As I said before, the Airbnb obviously now has access. It's just a bedroom for one of the tenants that they're going to be able to have a little bit of privacy downstairs as opposed to the rest of the bedrooms upstairs. But none of that was accessible when I walled off that wall. All of this was our main living space. This is where essentially I have been spending the last 4 or 5 years of my life. But that $2,000 a month from the Airbnb wasn't the only income I earned from this property. Now, initially when I built this house, it was gonna be a 3-bedroom house, meaning my primary upstairs, my office upstairs, and this downstairs Airbnb to essentially help offset the cost of going really $200,000 or $250,000 above my budget. But then I was looking at the plans next door, or because this is a half duplex, I share this wall with another individual or another owner. At the time, it was a spec home and they were designing that side, and the back end of their house included a bedroom. Now, above me here is technically the 4th bedroom, but I added that later in the process of building, which allowed me actually to have my primary upstairs, my office upstairs, and also, in addition to the Airbnb, rent out another bedroom to a just normal individual roommate. Well, that roommate varied. I had 2 different roommates. They paid me anywhere from $1,250 to $1,400 a month. Again, because of the location, because of the modernness of the home, because it was brand new, all things considered. I was pulling in anywhere from about $3,200 to $3,500 a month in rent. Now, my monthly mortgage, when I purchased this, if you're aware of Texas, we have property taxes here. My monthly mortgage wasn't as high as it is now at about $4,400. It was about $3,800 to maybe $4,000. So buying this and building it brand new, I was spending maybe $500 to $750 a month to own a brand new half duplex in one of the most desired areas, or really the fastest growing areas in all of Dallas. Now, fast forward about 4 or 5 years later, I've been able to lower this monthly payment down to $3,400, and I just leased it out effective May 1st of this year for the next 12 months at almost $6,000 a month. And just to show you guys the rest of the house and what I'm talking about in terms of just how convenient and how nice this was, right here is a pretty small room. It was the office. It may look a little familiar, but not quite familiar, because this is where I filmed all of my content. Again, that's gonna be just a bedroom for one of the tenants. You've got a full bathroom here, but when I actually built this house, now this has been my son's bedroom probably for, I guess, since he came here in June or a little bit before that. Moved my fiance in quite a bit before that, so I haven't had a roommate and I haven't been Airbnb-ing out this property. I've just been covering the entire mortgage for the time being. But this was the 4th bedroom that I added that initially wasn't in the plan. Now really for the first 2 years of owning this house, I was able to generate an additional $1,500 a month just because I added this bedroom. And just some rough numbers there, that means I earned about $18,000 in addition to what I earned downstairs at the Airbnb on an annual basis, just renting out this room. And some cool facts here for you as well. The total cost of actually adding this entire square footage when I was meeting with the architect and builder was roughly about $20,000. So I already recouped that after about 13 months of renting this out, even though I rented it out for closer to 24 months, earning myself about $36,000 by just renting out this room. So really when it comes to investing in real estate, everything is going to look different. My type of investing is not going to be the same as someone else's type of investing. Also, if you're interested in investing, it could look completely different than what I'm doing as far as investing. This is not my first property. This was bought in 2020. I started technically investing in 2017. The biggest thing is investing in real estate's got to come with some level of sacrifice. Now, obviously with where I'm in life now, I'm engaged, set to get married here in just a couple months. I've got a 10-month-old baby. If I was looking at this house, it wouldn't suit my current needs. Now rewind 5 years ago where I was a single guy. This is in a very, very desirable area for young couples or single individuals. A lot of desirability for that Airbnb, a lot of desirability for that room across the hallway to rent out. But I also wasn't fully sacrificing everything. Obviously, you can see the size of this bedroom. You can see how nice of a bedroom this is. This was what my bedroom was for the last 5 years. And I'll walk you into my bathroom as well. I definitely wasn't sacrificing the last 5 years in terms of just overall niceness of home. Now, the sacrifice really came with having the downstairs be an Airbnb for the first 2 years of owning this property, as well as having a roommate for the first 2 years of owning this property. That really helped me afford a property that I otherwise wouldn't have even considered. So the real reason I'm filming this video is obviously to update you guys on another big moment in my life. Obviously, being able to rent this out for $6,000, you do some quick math, that is far more than I made as a high school teacher about 8 years ago. I was pulling in a solid maybe $3,800 a month total net at the end of the month. That was actually deposited into my checking account from teaching full-time, working 60 hours a week, as well as coaching wrestling. And yet, I'm not gonna have to do a lot here, and I collect almost $6,000 a month from my tenant here. So yes, it's a huge step in my financial future. The sheer numbers of this property and how much it's gonna be making on an annual basis is incredible. On top of that as well, just adding another property that's valued at roughly about $1 million to my investment portfolio, but also from a personal standpoint, being able to move closer to the house that we're building in the suburbs, it's just a huge step in my life. So that's all I got for you guys this week. That is a complete update on my house that I've lived in for the last 5 years that is now being transitioned into a full-time real estate investment property. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. I am building a 7,200 square foot home, quite the level up from here, which is only about 2,500 square feet. I've been updating my channel with a couple videos, but here soon we're gonna be starting framing, which is when the real fun starts of building a massive house. We actually are gonna be heading over there right now to film a rather large update. But as always, guys, I appreciate all the love and support. Make sure to stay tuned for next week's content.